Welcome to Hide and Seek TV. I'm about to get ready to do a very deep breakdown, another addition to my whole horror collection, breaking down what these films really and truly represent. And as you can see, first off, it's called Child's Play. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to really delve deep into the aspect of Chucky, because when you understand Child's Play, what I look at that as the Most High devouring the families of the world, the play of the children. You know what I'm saying? This stuff is deep because it's really about to tap. I'm about to really tap into this on a high level, because when you understand this, Chucky's name, his name was Charles. Remember, it was about the man who basically he had possessed. Remember, he put his soul inside the doll. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember he died on the movie. The real man died on the movie. His flesh died, but the soul lived on. As we know, the Most High is a Lord of hosts. And like I said, his name is Chucky, which literally derives from the name Charles, which don't mean nothing but king, aka free man. And we already know the Messiah is King of Kings, Lord of Lords, and he is our way out of the ways of being slaves of sin. You know what I'm saying? Hence the free man aspect. And Chucky last name was Lee, which don't mean nothing but the pastures. And we already know, as it's written in Psalms 23, which is so deep. It's because how, as it is written, and I'm about to really tap deep into this, he maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. You get where I'm going with this? So this stuff really I'm about to really tap deep into this, because you know Chucky, if you know the show Supernatural, it literally says Chuck is God. You know that. Look how you say don't use the G word, just call me Chuck. Chuck is God. Remember that. And how the whole theme of child is called Child's Play. And what I look at that as is for, in a sense, for ye are the children of God by faith in the Messiah. Child's Play. Hint how Chucky was a murderer, because it represents the cleansing the body of wickedness, destroying the wickedness, you know what I'm saying? Destroying the work of iniquity. And I'm about to really tap deep into this, because I'm actually going to play a scene when Chucky met his son. I don't curse, use profanity, but I'm going to basically iterate with this whole aspect of his son name being what it is. Hold on, let me wind it back.
Who the hell are you?
Shit face.
But basically, as you know what I'm saying, when you hear the name, automatically what I thought about, and I was like, wow, this is so amazing, because what I thought about is like in Philippians 2:1-10, if there be any consolation in the Messiah among thee, if any comfort of love, if any fellowship of spirit, if any bowels and mercy. When you understand the bowels in the scriptures, the bowels literally represent the aspect of the compassion and aspect of being deep within the depths. You know what I mean? How the Messiah resurrected through the bowels was in the bowels of the earth for 3 days before the ascension. You know what I'm saying? And hint how his name is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, this stuff is deep, man, because notice how his name. I'm gonna play it one more time.
Who the hell are you?
Shit face.
Like, listen to that. Literally, for those who are children, as children, you know what I mean? And, the Messiah resurrected from the bowels of the earth after 3 days. You feel where I'm going with this? And I'm about to delve deep into this, because to delve even further, I actually want to tap into the aspect of the Bride of Chucky, because you already know, as it is written, you already know about the Queen Jerusalem, the Queen of Heaven. You know what I'm saying? Hint why Chucky has a bride. You know what I'm saying? And what's so deep about that, because her name is Tiffany. And what's deep about Tiffany is the name Tiffany literally means God's incarnation. You get where I'm going with this. And I'm about to tap into this, because remember, she met up with Chucky, because notice she was in a bridal gown. Remember on the movie, she was wearing a bridal gown, a white bridal gown. I actually can show you again right quick. Remember, she was wearing, you notice she's wearing like the white gown as the bride, because as it's written, the bride shall be adorned. You know what I mean? That represents nothing but the whole unity of the Father, the Son, and the Mother Jerusalem. You know what I'm saying? And what's so deep about that, because as you see, she met him on Route 66. It's deep stuff, man, and you know what I mean? Because when you understand Route 66, I believe that goes from like the Chicago all the way to the West Coast, the Midwest to the West, you know what I'm saying? And what's so amazing about that, and I'm about to really tap into this, on Route 66, I just want to pull it up, but like how actually, when you understand that the scriptures alone, like in the standard KJV, has 66 books, you get where I'm going with this. Like this stuff is just is redundant. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, how she was literally in the dress. What really amazed me by that, because remember she was in the dress when she met him. You know what I'm saying? And that literally amazed me. You remember that? And like I already mentioned about how the wife shall be the bride's groom. You already know about all of this when it comes to the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? And it's so amazing because she represented the bride, Jerusalem. You get where I'm going. And actually, the film, what tripped me out too, the film was literally recorded literally in Romania. And you already know about the whole aspect of Romania, because we already know that Romania in the ancient time, in the AD era, Romania literally was a part of Rome. And you already know that's where the whole aspect of the Messiah was, in Rome. You get where I'm going with this. And you see how Tiffany killed the cop and then picked up the Chucky doll, because you already know the cops, like I said, that represents nothing but the law. You get where I'm going with this. And notice how she picked up the Chucky doll, they said, in the West gas purifying house. And as it's written, what's so amazing about that is as it's written with the whole sense of purifying, that literally remind me nothing but of the turning the water into wine. Because as it says, and there were 6 water pots of stone at the manner of purifying of the Jews. You know what I'm saying? During the whole time of the wedding, which represents nothing but basically the ways of the flesh, the old basically being done away with, and in comes the new spirit and becoming a new creature. In a simple way of saying it. That whole aspect of this represents nothing but the wedding of becoming renewed and reborn. You get what I'm saying about this? And you know how they said she was by the distillery district when she found the Chucky doll. Hint in 1 John 4:14, but whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst, but the water that I shall give him shall be in him as a well of water springing up into everlasting life. Do you hear where I'm going with this? Like, this stuff is literally deep, man. And I'm about to tap even further, because I'm going to play the scene when the son literally undergoes saying that he want to be a boy or he want to be a girl. I'm going to tap into what this all means.
I think I want to be a boy.
Yes! In your face, lady!
Hear that right there, too. You know what I'm saying? How he say he want to be a boy. But I'm going to delve into that, because as it's written anyway, Israel is the firstborn son in Exodus 4:22. But I'm going to let this keep going.
But being a girl would be nice too.
You hear that about being a girl, because what's so amazing about that in Revelation 20-22, as it's written, I have a few things against thee, because thou sufferest that woman Jezebel, which calleth herself a prophetess, to teach and to seduce my servants to commit fornication and to eat things sacrificed unto idols. And I give her space to repent of her fornication, and she repented not. Behold, I will cast her into a bed, and them that committeth adultery with her into great tribulation, except they repent of their deeds. Hence why he said he want to be a boy or he want to be a girl. Notice the aspect of being under the law, because when you understand the masculine represents law and order, and the feminine represents rebellion in a sense. You know what I'm saying? In a sense of understanding, like in a sense of energies, light and darkness, day and night. You get where I'm going with this. Like, this stuff is deep, because when you understand this too, And what tripped me out about this is how where I gotta find the scene. Basically, when Chucky had said when he gave his son a name. I'm actually gonna play the clip right quick. This all going back to what I was talking about, being of the spirit or being of the flesh, feminine, masculine. Pay attention to this.
Don't look at me.
See? What did I tell you? A beautiful little girl.
What? Are you blind? That's my boy. Yeah. He just hasn't had his growth spurt yet. Don't worry about it, son. You're a late bloomer, that's all. And it's high time that you had a real name. Let's see. I think I'm gonna call you Glenn.
Notice how you say I'm gonna call you Glenn. And when you understand the name Glenn, Glen literally means nothing but from the wilderness, the wooded valley. And we already know, if you understand the scriptures anyway, how Israel spent time in the wilderness. You get where I'm going with this? You feel where I'm going? Like, this stuff is so right in our face. There's no way around it, like I said. Let me keep the clip going.
Had an accident. You just didn't worry about it, son. Let's see. I'm gonna call you Glenn.
Glenn? What kind of name is that for a girl? Don't listen to him, honey. From now on, your name is Glinda.
Hear that? The Glinda. Remember I said Glen literally means nothing but from the wooded valley, basically the wilderness. And when you understand Glinda, that means holy and purified. You get where I'm going with this. Like, this stuff is all in our face. And if you actually remember, what was it, Child's Play 3? Remember when Andy, on a one before, I think he had killed Chucky, and then Chucky came back to get revenge on Andy? And you remember Andy had joined military school? And when you understand the military aspect, that represents the discipline. You know what I mean? Becoming a part of the whole system. You get what I'm saying? And when you understand that, how, like I said, how he basically joined the workers of inequity. You get where I'm going with this? With the whole military aspect, because he basically became trained and disciplined and communist in the sense of working the works of inequity, like in Satan's army. That's all it's saying. And if you know the new Chucky called Curse of Chucky, notice how he's in the wheelchair. And when you understand that, the wheelchair is because it is written, and she gave birth to a son, a male son, who will rule all the nations with an iron rod, iron scepter. All that is a cane. You get where I'm going with this? Like, this stuff is right in our face, man. And when you understand, once again, going into the sense of Chucky, you know, the Messiah was a carpenter, and you know, a chuck is literally used like a type of clamp used to hold an object in carpentry. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's literally all in our face. You feel where I'm going with this? And I'm about to keep this thing rolling, because it's so many films that we have seen come out through the years. And remember, I've been talking about the whole Lewis Stone. How I've been mentioning about the Lewis Stone. And when you understand that too, the Lewis Stone in Freemasonry, like I said, the Messiah is a carpenter. And in Psalms 118:22, they literally say that the stone that the builders reject literally have become the foundation of the world, the cornerstone. What stone is it talking about? It's talking about the Lewis Stone, aka the Messiah being a rock, the foundation. You know what I'm saying? Hint Lewis, the Lewis Stone in Freemasonry, and hint on the movie, the old Exorcist movie that came out years ago, back I think the 70s, if I'm not mistaken. You look at what it said. Through Lewis, you can the demons will be released, will be basically cleansed of the demon spirit. Through Lewis. Notice how Lewis is on his chest. And if you pay attention to that too, remember the movie Carrie. I'm gonna play a scene off of this. Remember, they covered her in pig blood. Remember that. Pigs ain't nothing but abomination. And notice how they cover her in pig blood. See, you see the moon and the stars behind her, as it's written in Revelation 12. And I just read that too. And when I was just explaining the whole aspect of the cane. When you know about Revelation 12, literally the woman was clothed in stars and in the moon. You see what I'm saying? So notice how behind her they have the moon and the stars. Once she gets covered in blood, you know what I'm saying? See right there, the moon and stars, as she gets covered in blood. You see it right there. And as it's written, which is so amazing about that, because the name Carrie literally don't mean nothing but Chuck, aka Charles, aka free man. You know what I'm saying? Going back to what I said about King. And as it's written, his clothes will be with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name will be called the Word of God. Notice how she's covered in blood. You feel where I'm going? And actually on the movie too, what's so amazing, on Pet Cemetery, the man name was Louis Creed. Going back to the whole Louis Stone, the man's name was Louis Creed. You get what I'm saying? And he was actually like basically what he was like the doctor who but basically what Louis did, he had brought the pets back from the dead. You know what I'm saying? Like that stuff is literally all it's all in our face. You know what I mean? And I'm about to delve even deeper, because you know how they already said that Chucky, remember they already said my buddy doll? You know what I'm saying? And when you go into Isaiah 11:1, listen to that, how it said Chucky said the buddy doll, and there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention to that. Like that stuff is literally all in our face. The buddy, the bud. You get what I'm saying? Like that stuff is literally deep, man. And there should come forth a rod out of the bud of Jesse. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, that it's right in our face. You know what I'm saying? And when you understand the aspect too of why the seed of Chucky was created, because in Isaiah 53:10, here it is. Yet it pleased the Lord to bruise him; he had put him to grief. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed; he shall prolong his days. Come on, man! Like it's deep, because hint how he saw his seed. And remember how he called him Glenn. You know what I'm saying? And how she called him Glenda. You remember when I just broke that all down with Glenn literally meant nothing but from the wilderness, and Glenda meant to make holy and pure. Remember how the Israelites went through the wilderness to go through their trials and tribulations. You know what I'm saying? Like this stuff is literally all in our face. Like it's right there, but it's all about how do you can you read and capture and understand the codes? Can you crack the code? You know what I'm saying? But I'm actually going to end that right here. I just want to really touch on this aspect of the whole Chucky doll. And I got much more coming. I'm going to keep on breaking these films down. Stay tuned. Much more is coming. Peace.